Yo, hold up. Do y'all actually believe the Helen Keller story we were fed in school? Because honestly, if you look at the receipt, the whole thing is giving major scam vibe. We're talking 14 books in 5 languages with 0 sight or hearing. I don't know, fam. Sounds like some high-level cap to me. Today, we're exposing the 100-year-old miracle that might just be the ultimate industry plant. Buckle up. This reality check is about to be wild. Look, we've all heard the story of Helen Keller, right? Girl who couldn't see or hear but somehow became this absolute legend, writing books and low-key hanging out with 13 different presidents. It's the ultimate feel-good story we're fed since we're kids. It's supposed to be this peak overcoming the odds vibe. But honestly, if you take a sec to actually look at the receipt, things start getting real fast. We're talking about a girl who lost her sight and hearing at 19 months old due to what they call brain fever. Yet somehow, she's out here dropping 14 books, becoming a political activist and speaking 5 languages like it's a casual Sunday. Today, we're diving deep into the side of the story they don't want you to talk about. Is this the greatest miracle in history, or is it the biggest cap of the century? Back in the day, before Anne Sullivan showed up, Helen was basically living in total chaos. She didn't have a lick of language and was constantly throwing fits just to get some attention. She was isolated, locked in a dark world with 0 ways to communicate. Then boom, Anne Sullivan, a 20-year-old with 0 formal training, walks in. And within just 1 month, Anne claims Helen gets it. She claims Helen understood that the cold liquid on her hand was water. But let's be for real. If you've never heard a single sound in your life and you've been in total darkness for years, how are you picking up complex, abstract grammar? That fact sounds a bit too Hollywood to be true, doesn't it? It makes you wonder if Helen was actually the genius here, or if Anne was just pulling the strings like a puppet master behind the scenes. Think about the sheer volume of work Helen allegedly produced, talking 14 books, not just pamphlet, but full-on book. And then there's the writing style itself. This is where things get super sketchy. Helen's books are filled with these crazy detailed descriptions of golden sunset, crimson flowers, and the shimmer of the lake. Like, hold up. If you've been in the dark since you were a toddler, how do you even know what crimson looks like? How do you describe the glow of a face? She described colors with so much vibe and soul that even professional writers at the time were like, wait, how is she doing this? Critics back then were already calling it out, saying there's no way this was coming from her own head. They called it hearsay knowledge. It feels more like Anne Sullivan was ghostwriting the whole aesthetic to make the story sell better to a public that was hungry for a miracle. And let's talk about the company she kept. Anne Sullivan wasn't just a teacher, she was Helen's entire world. Helen never went anywhere without her. Every single word Helen said through hand signing was interpreted by Anne. Every letter she wrote was edited by Anne. It's also weird how Helen's whole personality and political stance seemed to perfectly mirror the people around her. Anne's husband, John Macy, was this hardcore socialist writer. And surprise, Helen's writing suddenly became all about deep political take, the Russian Revolution, and socialism. As long as those two were in the house, Helen was a straight-up literary savage, dropping fire takes on global politics. But the second Anne Sullivan passed away, Helen's writing style totally flopped. The deep poetic energy just evaporated. She went from writing complex political argument to writing thin, inspirational pamphlet. If Helen was the one with the big brain the whole time, why did her talent die along with her teacher? That's a major red flag, fam. We can't forget the Frost King drama either. This is the smoking gun for a lot of people. When Helen was just 11, she wrote this story called The Frost King as a gift for the head of the Perkins School. Everyone was blown away until they realized it was a total copy-paste of a book called The Birdie and His Fairy Friend. It wasn't just similar, it was word for word in some part. When she got dragged for it, they played it off as cryptomnesia, basically saying she forgot she had heard it. But think about the memory power required to accidentally memorize a whole book, word for word, and then accidentally write it down years later. The principal of her school didn't buy it. He literally called her a living lie and never spoke to her again. Was she really just a kid with a crazy memory? Or was she being coached by Anne to produce content even if it meant stealing it? Let's look at the math. Today, in 2026, we have the most insane tech, AI, brain-linked devices, and specialized schools for deafblind kids. We have thousands of resources that Anne Sullivan could only dream of. Yet, we haven't seen another Helen Keller since. Not one person has come close to that level of literary and political influence with the same disability. If 1880s tech and a teacher with no training was enough to turn a child into a global superstar, why can't we do it now with all our billions of dollars? It low-key feels like the whole Helen Keller brand was a massive marketing stunt. The Perkins School needed funding, Anne Sullivan needed a job, and the public needed a hero. Look, I'm not saying she didn't work hard. Living in that condition is a struggle I can't even imagine. She was definitely a fighter. But we gotta ask, was she the one writing the legend, or was she just the face of a very clever business? The miracle worker story is great for a movie, but the reality might be way more twisted. It's possible that Helen was a smart woman who was enhanced by the people around her to keep the money flowing. The overlap between her words and Anne's edits is so thick, you can't even tell where one ends and the other begins. What do you think? Was Helen Keller the real deal? A once-in-a-billion genius? Or was she just a massive industry plant used to sell books and push political agendas? Drop your hot takes in the comments. I want to see if you guys think this story is legit, or if we've been lied to for over 100 years.